Well, my name's Linda Drake, and I'm a practice nurse. I've worked in the practice for over 30 years now, which I think shows a great lack of imagination, but I do absolutely love my job. I know my patients and my families really well, and it's been an absolute privilege to be there. I'm very fortunate because I also have another job, which is that I'm the practice nurse member on the governing body for Southwark Clinical Commissioning Group. So when I heard about the opportunity to join the Action Learning Set to help become a digital nurse champion, I first of all thought, oh no, this is absolutely not for me, because I wouldn't even describe myself as a novice. I think I'm an actual technophobe. I'm probably the only person I've ever met at the moment who hasn't even got a smartphone, and the thought of having one is too much for me to cope with. But then I thought, no, if I'm going to do my job properly and help support my patients with diabetes, but also look at commissioning services for people these days who need to be able to access services digitally as well as face-to-face, I thought I really need to bite the bullet and have a go at doing this. Now, sadly, halfway through the programme, the Action Learning Set, I then had a terrible accident, hence the crutches, and got several fractures. And then after that, 3 months, well, 2 months completely bedbound and non-weight bearing. And ever since then, only housebound and really pretty immobile. So at that point, I realised that I'd have to slightly change the aims that I'd had at the beginning of the Action Learning Set. But I also realised from a patient perspective how terribly important it is to provide digital access for people who are not able to get to groups. During the time I've been on this learning set, I just feel I've learnt so much. I had to, as I say, completely change my aims halfway through because of my accident, but it's taught me so much as a patient and as a commissioner in terms of what I can offer to my patients when I get back to work from the first half of my learning set with the apps that I can use. I've found some really good ones which help to explain to patients about the number of calories in their food, and some good apps which use sort of, I suppose, neurolingual programming type approach of games that people can use to look at healthy foods, which ones aren't healthy and which ones are. Games which make it quite good fun, but also impress on patients what they should be eating, but in a very non-judgmental and non-authoritative way, but a way that looks like fun. Diabetes UK has their learning zone. They've got lots of information. And as I say, I now, if I want to recommend these to patients, I don't just say, okay, look on the Diabetes UK website page. I sit down with them. I use their smartphone to make sure that we can get the address into their address book, and so that they know which bits of the website I'm suggesting that might be helpful to them at the moment. Of course, we're also looking at the new NHS app that we can use, and I've got great hopes for that. We've been able to set up a platform for patients across the SDP area to book patient education and self-management courses, and that is something that I've dreamt about for years in terms of you're not relying on the GP. It can be healthcare professional referred, but patients can self-refer. So we just have to give them one contact detail and they can access something which suits them, either one-to-one, group, or indeed now we're looking at commissioning online support, digital support for people who want to do something in which doesn't involve going to a group, both for logistical reasons, but also a lot of people don't like groups, or they want to be able to do it in their own time. And I'm finding younger patients, and indeed a lot of older patients, actually prefer to access their services digitally. So hopefully we will have services in the future where patients can just go online, they can choose a course which suits them, delivered in a variety of ways to help them manage their diabetes and also help prevent going on to get diabetes.